So, lads, Sophie Cunningham, obviously a player for the Indiana Fever, who got into a little bit of trouble last night. And by trouble, I mean...
Sophie Cunningham was on the verge of ending her career after stepping in to defend her teammate Caitlin Clark during yet another rough foul. Instead of just getting upset, people online went into overdrive, starting a petition to ban her from the WNBA for good. Most players in her position would have gone quiet, apologized, or tried to lay low. But not Cunningham. She did something no one expected. She posted a response so sharp and smart that it didn't just silence the criticism.
Out. But there's been a lot of posts about Sophie Cunningham jerseys completely selling out. There's been a lot of posts. This is the only one. This is genuinely the only one that is quote tweeting. WNBA fans have now made a petition to have Sophie Cunningham removed from the league. You can't make this up. I love how what's the petition on right now? What's the petition?
The game was intense, just like every Indiana Fever matchup this season. Caitlin Clark was under constant pressure, taking hits, shoves, and grabs even when she didn't have the ball. You could feel the tension rising, like something was about to boil over. The refs were holding back, letting the rough play continue. That's when Sophie Cunningham had enough. After seeing Clark get targeted one more time, she made a split-second decision to step in.
Well, they're going coast to coast. And here we got another breakers here as J.C. Sheldon goes right after.
In a tense moment, Cunningham gave a powerful shove to an opponent. It wasn't just a quick reaction, it was a clear warning to everyone. If you go after our star player, you'll face serious consequences. She was immediately called for a flagrant foul and kicked out of the game. For many players, that would have been the end of the story. But for Cunningham, the ejection was just the start. The real fight was about to begin, off the court, in a much tougher arena.
Because I know the petition only had 100 signatures.
In the hours after the game, the internet exploded, but the reaction went way beyond the usual angry tweets and critical articles. Something unexpected happened. A petition popped up on Change.org demanding that Sophie Cunningham be banned from the WNBA for good. Think about that, a player facing the end of her career over a tough, physical move meant to defend a teammate. It's the kind of thing you see in almost every contact sport, yet here, it sparked calls for a permanent ban.
Sophie Cunningham showed that she is, the old Caitlin Clark enforcer. She is the Caitlin Clark enforcer. That has been shown. She is the enforcer that the Fever have needed for the last year, and she has responded. She has responded.
The petition itself barely gained any support, gathering only a few hundred signatures at most. It was like a small, angry crowd online waving pitchforks, loud, but tiny. Still, because outrage grabs attention, the story of the petition began to spread. Slowly, a false story took hold, casting Cunningham as a reckless villain who needed to be stopped.
Sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, is anybody on this team going to stand up for Caitlin Clark? J.C. Sheldon grabbing Caitlin Clark all game, clawing at her. It's tonight was a brawl, folks. Tonight was a brawl. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, is anybody on this team going to stand up for... And Sophie Cunningham.
As the petition story gained more attention, Sophie Cunningham did something risky. She stayed completely quiet. In today's world, when an athlete goes silent during a crisis, it's often seen as a sign of guilt. Usually, the expected move is a quick, carefully planned apology to take control of the story and calm the critics. But Cunningham's social media went silent. No statement. No explanation. No defense.
Let's start here. This is, of course, Sophie and Sheldon going down the floor. Sophie tries to wrap her up, and Sheldon gets to the floor, and all hell breaks loose. And Sophie said, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. We'll go.
This silence only made things more tense and mysterious. People wondered, was the league pushing her to stay quiet? Was her team telling her to keep a low profile? Or, worse, did she actually regret what happened? Her critics thought they had the upper hand. They believed their pressure was breaking her down. But what they didn't realize was that they were walking right into a trap.
Of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on J.C. Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant call foul a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
After days of silence, Cunningham finally broke her quiet, but not with an apology or a long defense. Instead, she made a move that was simple, sharp, and powerful, an instant classic clapback. She went on Twitter, found the post promoting the petition to ban her, and quote-tweeted it with just one striking fact: her jerseys were completely sold out. That single truth tore her critics apart.
I feel good, and Sophie Cunningham put me out on a high note, folks. I didn't even say, Ben, calm down. Calm down, regroup. I didn't even say that. Let's get straight to the play. Everybody, the plays everybody is talking about. First off, Marina Mabrey body checking Caitlin Clark to the ground. JC Sheldon all over her. Riding her. Pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. Oh, man. Caitlin Clark needs to start wearing goggles, folks. Caitlin Clark's going to need to start wearing goggles. Bumps up on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark says, "Get your hands off me." And then here comes Marina Mabrey. Boom! Exploding Caitlin Clark like a safety coming downhill in the NFL. There was no flop there.
Instead of arguing or apologizing, she turned all the attention her critics stirred up into her biggest win. She didn't debate her intentions or the rules of the play. She simply showed a fact they couldn't ignore: her jerseys were completely sold out. That single truth blew the petition and its angry voices out of the water. While a few hundred people signed a petition, thousands of fans were rushing to buy her gear. So many, in fact, that the team store had to temporarily stop selling because they ran out of stock. This wasn't just good business, it was a public vote on her actions, and the result was overwhelming. Fans weren't just buying jerseys, they were showing support for what Cunningham stood for: loyalty, toughness, and standing up for teammates when it counts. Each sold-out jersey was proof that the silent majority wasn't just backing her, they were celebrating her. To understand why fans stood by her so fiercely, you need to know who Sophie Cunningham really is. This shove wasn't a one-time, out-of-character outburst. It's who she has always been. She's known as one of the league's toughest enforcers, a player who lives by the game's oldest unwritten rule: protect your star at all costs. Her shove wasn't about anger, it was about duty. She's exactly the kind of gritty, team-first player championship teams rely on. She takes the hits, does the hard work, and shields the team's biggest stars. Her critics thought they were exposing a weakness. Instead, they shined a spotlight on her greatest strength. What her critics missed was that their attempt to spark a crisis gave Cunningham a huge chance to show her true value. She didn't fall into their trap or get pulled into drama. By staying silent at first and then responding perfectly, she turned the outrage into a marketing win. The people trying to cancel her ended up promoting her to a national audience. She didn't just win the fight, she turned a possible career setback into a major boost for her brand. Cunningham proved that today, being real and standing your ground matters far more than trying to avoid controversy. This story was never just about a shove, a petition, or sold-out jerseys. It's a lesson for athletes in the digital age. Sophie Cunningham showed that you don't have to get dragged down or give in with a fake apology. Sometimes, the best move is to rise above the noise, hold your ground, and let your success speak for itself. In a world where many fold under pressure, Cunningham showed that sometimes the best defense is to let the haters talk, and quietly count the proof of your victory.